Drivers heading home for the record-breaking Memorial Day weekend travel rush received a harsh welcome to the unofficial start of summer, the highest gas prices in 4 years. The national average for a gallon of regular fuel is hovering stubbornly at $4.49, a bruising $1.38 jump from this same time last year. The burning question for every household budget is no longer if we can afford a summer road trip, but exactly when we can expect relief at the pump. The short answer is frustratingly complex. Experts warn that fuel prices are currently running on adrenaline, not fundamentals. And while global crude oil has recently ebbed below the panic-induced $100 per barrel mark, the reality is that any true financial reprieve will likely be a slow, multi-month crawl. To find the source of today's pain, one must look toward the Persian Gulf, the de facto closure of the Strait of Hormuz, sparked by military conflict and dual blockades between the U.S. and Iran, has effectively strangled a quarter of the world's seaborne oil supply. Energy Secretary Wright acknowledged that meaningful ship traffic must resume before energy prices stabilize. And because oil infrastructure within the conflict zone faces prolonged structural damage, some economists suggest it could take 7 months to several years to fully restore the global supply equilibrium. Compounding this geopolitical shock is domestic refinery friction, and in accordance with annual environmental mandates, refineries recently transitioned to more expensive summer blends, adding an automatic 10 to 15 cents per gallon to production costs. Worst yet, global demand has forced domestic refiners to pivot heavily toward high-margin jet fuel, keeping gasoline production down by 340,000 barrels per day compared to last year. With a diplomatic breakthrough in the Middle East nowhere in sight, lawmakers are scrambling to manufacture artificial relief. Momentum is building behind the Gas Prices Relief Act of 2026, a bipartisan push in Congress to temporarily suspend the 18.4-cent federal gas tax through October. And while a tax holiday sounds like an immediate victory for consumers, it is merely a band-aid. Fuel is taxed at wholesale terminals, meaning savings only reach drivers if energy companies actively lower retail prices rather than pocketing the margin. Pausing the tax threatens to deplete the Highway Trust Fund, requiring a multi-billion-dollar general fund bailout to keep road repairs funded. And local intervention is equally rocky. In Florida, despite a $4.31 state average, lawmakers finalized a budget this morning without a state gas tax cut, leaving residents entirely dependent on federal policy shifts. Barring an unpredicted legislative breakthrough or a sudden ceasefire, drivers should brace for the most volatile summer in years. Analysts at GasBuddy and the Energy Information and Administration tend to believe that things could begin to normalize 3 to 6 months from now, potentially pulling averages below the $3.70 mark by late autumn. Until then, the price at the pump will remain bound to geopolitical anxiety. American commuters must navigate this adrenaline economy by tightening household spending, utilizing fuel tracking apps, or consolidating trips. True relief is on the horizon, but it sits miles down a very long, volatile road. What's your opinion? We'd like to know.